Resident Evil Requiem. There's something dark lurking in this soundtrack, and we're going to find out what.
I'm Seth.
I'm Rhett.
We're brothers. We're composers from Paper Wings Music, and today we're going into this completely blind.
Neither of us have played it, but we're both old school fans of the originals.
So no spoilers, just whatever the music makes us feel and why. We're going to try and guess what's going on by what we feel. So with that, let's get into it.
Cue the score!
Cue the score! So there's 9 tracks that we're going to be going through today. The interesting thing about the soundtrack is depending on who you play, you get different themes depending on that character. So the tracks are Night Haze, Baptism by Blood, Deadly Encounter, Ambition, Contact, Whatever It Takes, Respite, the main menu theme, and Through the Darkness. Like we said, we haven't listen to any of these tracks, or we don't really know anything about the story. The only thing we know is that whose track belongs to who, and that's it.
Night Haze for Grace. Already cool. It sounds a little like older, like processed, like it's being put through a tape.
Yeah, it's very thin right off the bat. Yeah, I like how you put that. It feels like you're listening to it through something.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of old stereo or something.
Yeah. Interesting. It's quite nostalgic in kind of like a relaxed club, jazz club.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because, this is just a little chill jazz solo.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm assuming this is kind of before the danger happens, so we're not getting that sense of danger yet. But you do kind of have this lost feeling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the fact that it does have that processing, like it's being played out of something kind of old, like I could hear this playing in an empty, big building, abandoned building where you're like, it's nice, but this is creepy at the same time.
I'm not really sure what I'm getting myself into yet. There is definitely like a feeling of uncertainty.
Yeah, and I think that's a good strategy. Sometimes you want to compose for the emotion exactly, and sometimes doing like the exact opposite has this weird juxtaposition where you're like, these shouldn't be going together, and it's making me feel even weirder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. And just a zombie around the corner, man.
I don't know. I don't get that sense of danger yet.
I definitely don't feel the danger as well. But I feel like it's like that's what it's purposely doing, is like it's making you feel like we're cool. But then there's gonna be something around that corner. Beautiful piece.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That was unexpected. Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. You get this sense of tragic curiosity. Like it almost feels like a memory.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's happening here, obviously, but I don't know. Interesting. Be curious to see where this is played in the game.
Yeah, my guess is trying to make you feel a little more at ease and comfortable before something happens.
This music really feels like it's in the world that we're playing. And it feels very like it's diegetic music, which basically means that the characters themselves in the story hear the music being played, rather than non-diegetic music, which is outside of the world. It's what we hear as the players or the viewers, but the characters themselves don't hear it. That's kind of what this track sounds like to me.
Yeah, and if that's the case, that makes it even creepier, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
that idea that like the character can hear it and that it's being played somewhere in that location where you can hear it down the hallway. That's
like I said, to me, this you kind of have this melancholy uncertainty feeling from this track. Really cool, really interesting.
all right. Baptism by Blood for Leon. Okay. This is more like action forward. Here we
Yeah,
go.
definitely picking up here.
Oh, I like that silence too.
Yeah, you kind of got a heavy, distorted synth bass going on there with some cool percussion, kind of driving us forward.
Yeah.
Really getting a sense of determination here.
And there's enough of that distortion and kind of things slightly off that gives you that, like, you know, that kind of, oh, I got to deal with this now. I got terrified zombies.
Yeah. Definitely kind of feel a sense of empowerment here.
Yeah, and I mean, those kind of strings in the background.
That's really cool. Oh, dun 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 dun. That's really cool.
Yeah. I don't know why, but that like da 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 da, that just screams to me like virus in a lab. Oh, this is cool. But I have heard that, like, depending on the character you choose, I hear Leon is way more like action hero vibe, and Grace is more survival horror.
Oh, interesting.
Vibes. Oh, yeah, the design of these sounds, the sound design and the percussion, you just don't need...
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's just like you don't need like a huge melody to take this. You just need the heightened energy.
Yeah, it's really kind of cool. You have this kind of intense symphonic metal mixed with this almost 90s industrial synth sound. Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, I like that. Like 90s industrial synth. Like that's a good description. Oh, and I love those boop,
Yeah.
little silences there. Like you lost your breath for a second.
Yeah, those cool little pauses. Just like,
Oh. It definitely feels like forward momentum, like he's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I mean, this track is called Baptism by Blood, so it seems to me like this is kind of like our first experience into the danger, into this creepy, dangerous world. So this is kind of like, okay, here we go. We're getting started here.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
It's so cool.
And you hear that like rising sound.
Yeah, that bass note. It's like a 16 beat bass note pulse. It's like 16 beats long before it
1, 2, 3,
starts
4,
over.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And it has plenty of progression here, like it has this little silence moments, it has the high action driving forward moments, it has the mysterious moments, so it's varied enough to kind of be on edge and kind of keep you pushing forward.
Yeah. Those heavy notes just kind of give you that sense of danger, you know?
Mm-hmm. At the same time, nothing's standing out to the point that it's distracting, because you're going to be so focused on surviving that, like, you're not really going to want something to stick out too much. So I think it's doing a really good job at progressing as it goes, but it's still ambient in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's so hard to listen to the music without playing the game because you have no context. You know, you're just like trying to infer what's happening. You're just like, I don't know. But like, I'm really, like I said before, I'm really getting kind of that sense of empowerment here, but at the same time, kind of tempered with exhaustion, just because it's like, okay, we're in this, whatever's happening, it's baptism by blood. So obviously this is some kind of battle between Leon and the zombies, most likely, right? You get these pulses of adrenaline, right? And Leon at this point is somebody who I think knows just how high the stakes are, because that's playing the games before, that's kind of who he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's done this before.
He's been around the block a few times.
I think it's so cool that they have those differences, because like he has been through a lot and he's done all this before. So if he was like the new recruit from Resident Evil 2, then this wouldn't really make sense. But he's kind of a seasoned dude at this point, so makes more sense. It's cool that they included that.
Yeah, and I love the fact that they bring Leon back for this one. I'm excited to play the game just because of Leon.
He's the dude, man. He's the dude.
He's the dude. That's right. Very cool. Oh, I love this piece. This piece is really cool.
And you know, I still remember playing these as a kid, and it just was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, to turn every corner. Just because of the music alone.
Yeah. Dude, I remember playing, I don't even know how old I was. It was like the first Resident Evil. It was like 1 a.m. We're all just gathered around the TV playing this, like freaked out of our minds, turning corners, zombies jumping out. It's like, ah!
But you rented that with your friend.
Yeah.
And didn't you lose your whole save data?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we played it all night we played this game for like 2 days straight, I'm pretty sure. And then we're like, oh, we gotta go buy a memory card so we can save it. We went to buy a memory card. We came home and Mom had unplugged it and turned it off, and we lost everything. Oh, devastated. So devastated. Yeah. But the thing I remember the most is like how impactful the music was at just giving you that heightened sense of fear and anxiety while playing the game. Oh, it's so cool.
And guys, Resident Evil Requiem does not have a vinyl yet, but if you're into vinyls, we have gathered together all the other games' vinyls in the description below.
Yeah, so definitely check those out. Even if you don't listen to vinyls, use it as a display piece. If you love it, I mean, hang it on your wall, put it on your shelf, whatever. I've got a couple that I use for display just because I love it. They're cool collector's pieces.
Yeah, I would want either Resident Evil 1 or 2. So now we're on Deadly Encounter for Grace.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Whoa!
Dude, that was sick.
Boom! Oh, this is
what I'm talking about.
Getting dangerous here.
Dude, this is horror right here.
We're feeling the deadliness of this encounter, as the title suggests. There's something bad is happening.
All that dissonant sounds and chords in the back room that's clashing.
Yeah.
Like I could almost see the camera like rotating and like.
You're like, oh. There's definitely a sense of unease, sense of danger, sense of just frantic pain.
Damn. Oh, this is a great example of just like organized random sounds.
Yeah.
That's cohesive in this world.
Yeah. There's some cool things happening with the percussion that I can hear in my headphones. Like, you have that hit, and then those like stick sounds. It's kind of happening over here, then it happens over here, then it happens over here.
Yeah, so it's panned.
It's panning left and right, which is kind of gives you that that eerie kind of feeling.
Yeah. I feel like this could be used for like that first time where Grace is going through, and then like you see the zombie like in the first game eating something the first time you see a zombie, and like it like turns his head and
it like slowly turns to look at you as it like notices your presence. You're like, oh no, here we go.
And then it's like, game has started.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this track straight up horror. Oh, I love it.
Oh. And I just have such an appreciation for this type of stuff because you can make just random sounds and kind of get into this space, but like there's an art to organized randomness.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Definitely. There definitely is.
The sound design, all the little, I always say this, but the little treasures of like little sound there, like somebody was crafting that one sound and like, oh, I need that.
The textures in the sounds that we're hearing are amazing. They're phenomenal. That adds so much tension, you know? It just feels like it's like slowly just grinding with such efforts.
And there's such, with those drums and the beat, there's such a weight of like, this is heavy stuff.
Yeah, and that's such the difference on how you play a note. Because you can play a note just, but you can play, and just you feel it in your bones. Oh my gosh.
And sometimes what they do with like some of the instruments is they play it out of the like comfortable range. They play it like too high, you know, so that it sounds like the instrument's being stretched.
Yeah.
To like too much tension. That's a common strategy people use.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like there's bits and pieces of where like you're in conflict, and then it's like hiding, you know, cat and mouse.
Well, and I think this almost feels like we're stepping into Grace's vulnerability. We know this track is for Grace, and I don't know if these tracks are in order or not. But if this track is in somewhere near the beginning, you know, I feel like this is kind of an intro into her early on experiences with this, right? So this is triggering much more flight rather than fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Interesting. Kind of shows that Grace isn't like Leon.
Yeah. Which they could have just done a copy and paste, more or less.
Yeah.
You either play as the guy or the girl, and it's pretty much the same except for a few different puzzles.
Yeah.
But it's a completely different experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
Ooh. That's setting the tone for Grace for sure.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool.
Dude, I want to play this so bad. I want to play this so bad.
My adrenaline's going now. Let's do this. Woo!
I got a thing for horror, man.
Me too, bro.
So now we're on ambition, and this theme should be shared between the two of them. That detuned piano.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely gives you kind of a sense of unease. Something's not quite right.
Oh, and that kind of like the reverb is getting distorted as it goes.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Bending the
There's a
pitch.
lot of noise in the background of this track, too.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of have that high-pitched drone just kind of hovering over the top.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh.
Dude. That,
I love those
saw
synths.
synth. That's a deep bass synth that's giving you some weight.
Yeah.
This is to be scared of. Dang. But yeah, it sounds like there's ticking.
Yeah.
Time's ticking away.
Yeah, yeah.
Tick, tick. This is interesting.
Oh.
This is the most of a melody that I think I've heard. The piano is not so much like a melody, but the bass.
Yeah. This feels like a really important story piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not like an action piece. It's not. It feels less of an explorative piece. This feels like a story piece that something's being explained to us.
Yeah, I agree. This definitely sounds more like context of the story.
Yeah.
Because this is too dynamic
Yeah.
to be ambient gameplay stuff, I think.
I love those
that.
stabbing
Bam.
hits. Ooh. Okay. Rhett's getting excited.
Dang. Dude, that just exploded in the best way possible.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You still have that piano in the back giving the chords.
We have those distorted low frequencies again in this one, kind of being brought back. It feels very metallic.
Yeah, a lot of this has good industrial sounds.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh, those sounds.
that's uncomfortable to listen to for a long period of time.
You just
I
have
would
this
think.
staticky scratchiness that just feels uncomfortable. Very cool sound design, though.
That was
Oh.
a nice drop. Complete cutout. Now it's like something happened,
Yeah.
and now you're just like, that was a twist.
Well,
That was a
it's
plot
almost
twist.
like you have this huge build up, and then it just cuts off, and so now you're just left with the result of whatever just happened. And that those real low piano notes just lets you sit with that feeling. You're just like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this.
Yeah. Like you need a little transition of time, like fade out hours later.
Right. Oh my gosh. Oh, this just feels like a threat that just can't be reasoned with. They're going to do what they're going to do no matter what.
Maybe Wesker's back again.
Freaking Western.
Wesker just causing mayhem again.
I'm going to punch him in the face.
Break his sunglasses.
All right, so we're almost halfway through this. We've come from some really uneasiness, dangerous places. We're going to keep going, figure out where in the world that this is taking us, and see how much more danger and trouble we can get into.
Contact for Leon.
Okay.
With the title, I'm like, made contact.
My first thought was the Alien movie, Contact. Got a sense of adrenaline right off the bat.
Yeah. That kind of like digital percussion. It's just so good to get the activity going.
Yeah. Yeah. Very synth heavy percussion.
And they're also doing a really good job of letting it evolve. Because it's pretty much doing the same thing the whole time. Repetition is not inherently a bad thing. Sometimes it's a positive, but you got to change it enough.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Starting to pick up a little bit more.
Everything's building up. Oh. That's a sick rhythm. Like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. You're feeling hyper awareness at this point is what it seems like. You're just like checking around corners. You're counting your bullets. You're like, you're in it.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't sound like you're just out and about exploring random zombies.
Yeah.
This seems like a bit more of a heightened experience.
Yeah, I agree. This feels like, I don't know, we're dealing with some kind of threat here.
Yeah.
Some kind of battle.
Could be boss oriented. Yeah, I can't imagine this is just like walking through the mansion.
This feels less horror.
Yeah.
You know, this feels more like we're not dealing with the zombies or creatures at this point. We're dealing with something else.
Yeah. It's a lot more focused. It wanders less.
Yeah.
So the focused message is a lot more funneled.
Yeah, and it's much more structured, you know?
Yeah. Which, does lean towards you're dealing with something very specific at the moment. So you're going to be like...
Yeah. And you have a very, like, analog industrial sound going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Really interesting.
It's not that... Yeah, it's interesting. It's not as musical as some of the other ones, even though a lot of them are not that musical, we'll say.
Yeah. It's very rigid, very almost procedural.
Nice.
Interesting.
That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah. We have those distorted low-end frequencies coming back. That's been a really big theme in a lot of the tracks that we've listened to so far. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's some high energy.
Very suspenseful.
Okay. That takes us to Whatever It Takes. And this is for Leon. Oh, that's a nice pad.
I like it.
Ooh. Ooh. This is a melody from previous games.
Is it?
Yeah.
Kind of have a detuned synth sound.
Yeah, it's kind of like a synth piano, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds like you're reading files. This sounds like you're discovering something. This sounds like more like story context. And if they're bringing back this melody, maybe this is kind of like some history.
Yeah.
Rather than like
looking back on something. I love that bass, how it just kind of builds up and now it's kind of releasing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh man. Was that it? Was that all of it?
Very short. Very short.
Oh dude, I could have used a lot more of that. Oh, that was a nostalgia hit.
Very, very cool track though. I love that low drone that just kind of builds and releases, and that detuned piano synth sound, just so cool.
Yeah, as soon as I heard that boom boom, I was like, oh.
He's like, I know this.
Yeah. Dude, that instrument alone is just like, yes, more please.
Yeah, very cool. I'm sad it was so short.
Yeah, that was really short. Okay, 3 to go. And it wouldn't be a Resident Evil without a save room.
That's right. Sit down at your typewriter and
the save room music is always amazing.
Oh, it's always so good.
Gives you that quiet. You know, it's funny because I thought these. Oh, that's eerie. That's really eerie.
Yeah.
It's funny because I used to think that they were called safe rooms instead of save rooms. Yeah. Partly because there's a safe usually that you put all your stuff in, and you're generally, I say generally, safe in that room.
Yeah, right. Makes sense.
But it always gives you enough to just not trust it completely.
Yeah. Yeah, you still have that sense of uneasiness, but at the same time, it feels like a temporary safeness. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, yes. I'm safe for a moment, but I know I'm going to have to go back out and face the danger.
Yeah, that's a really good way of saying it. It's temporary safeness.
Yeah.
And like the other tracks, this is going nuts on all of that sound design. Like this sounds like you're sounded like they were dragging a bar across the hallway.
Yeah. You have these echoes on all these different sounds, just boom, boom, boom. That just kind of fades out into nothingness.
Yeah, how can you go wrong with these like bells ringing?
Yeah.
Krong. Which goes to like that. Bells can sound very like church-like, like okay, we're in a safe place, but at the same time, religion can get dark, you know, cultish, you know, and so like that kind of sound can go either way.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting because you do have kind of this warm undertone happening underneath, but I think you're right. Talking about those church bell sounds, it kind of gives you a sense of comfort because you do kind of get that feeling of, oh, okay, church, safety, that kind of thing. But then you have this weird echo over top of it that kind of gives you this sense of unease at the same time. Mm-hmm. Really, really cool kind of how they kind of build these multiple emotions that clash against each other.
And yeah, that's one of my favorite things about soundtracks is when they have that duality where it's not just one note situation or emotion. There's always Jeez. Hear all this sounds?
Yeah.
So sick. And yeah, this is like one of those times that you just set the controller down, let it
Just
go.
let it play. Oh, man.
Just going through your box here. I need this herb. No, don't need that.
It's kind of the moment you go into those save rooms, you're just like, okay, I'm safe for a moment, but I know I'm gonna have to go back out there and face the dread. It definitely is kind of that breath of, let me stop, let me take a moment and recalibrate before I go back out there.
Yeah, love a save room theme. By the way, we did like our own version of a Resident Evil save
That's
room.
Right.
Link, check it out. Okay, so we're on the second to last here, technically. We're on main theme, but what we're actually going to do, apparently there is the main menu theme, and then there's a variation, a new main menu theme after you beat the game for New Game Plus. So we're going to kind of listen to a little bit of each. Oh, love it already.
Yeah.
The distant reverb.
Very kind of these long, drawn-out pad notes. Ooh. Sense of danger with that low synth hit.
Whoa, that
kind of a reverse note.
Yeah. One of the things I love that they do with these is just gives you this sense that there's so much empty space, eerie empty space, abandoned, deserted. Yeah, this is great to just be on the menu screen and like, okay, I know what kind of game we're playing.
Yeah, this is definitely a very good mood setting piece. You get that sense of uneasiness, you get that sense of danger. It's not really an adrenaline piece, so you're not really getting that pump of adrenaline, but you do feel kind of that sense of dread about what you're about to play.
Right.
It feels dark, it feels heavy.
Okay, so here is the New Game Plus version.
Interesting. There's an interesting sense of calm in this one.
Yeah.
That the other one doesn't have.
Still has the same three notes. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
But there's even chords in the back of it that's supporting it more.
Yeah. There's like more of a sense of resolve now that we've beaten the game.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's interesting.
Okay, that's probably a little taste of what we're about to hear on the last track for Through the Darkness. But I like how it seems like it's pretty pulled back. Only like a distant memory.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, all right, you've beat the game. You've been rewarded this piece.
That's such a nice little like reward.
It's cool.
Like you didn't have to, but there's such a sense of achievement if you were to beat it and get this.
Yeah.
Oh, feeling pretty cool about yourself.
This is like,
okay.
This is such a cool, just kind of sit and contemplate track. You know, it's just kind of one of those tracks you can just kind of play and focus and do work or sit and do something and just listen to.
Yeah. Nice.
Those low pads are really nice. Those vocals are a nice addition.
Okay.
And
yeah,
do you notice the piano doesn't sound as detuned as before?
Yeah, that's a really nice inclusion.
Yeah, I like comparing those two. I think that feels good. It's cool to see the difference between the two.
And I didn't even know that they were going to be... They're technically the same track.
And they're very different.
All right. Now let's do the last one, the one that's been streamed the most. Everybody's talking about Through the Darkness.
So we got the same notes as the...
Main
before.
menu. Doo, doo, doo. Oh. Yeah, nice inclusion of the guitar.
Yeah.
There's
That's
something
very
about
cool.
if you're doing a post-apocalyptic zombie something, you gotta have a guitar in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was a nice hit. Just percussion here. Ooh. Very processed vocals.
This is sick. And I'm not gonna pretend like we don't know this is the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we can. It says it here.
It says it right. Yeah.
Fighting the darkness, holding me.
Yeah, definitely has that. Roll it.
Yeah. He's like, you just
Maybe
came
getting-
on this journey. This is the end. We get to kind of... This is the result of our persistence.
And they usually do this kind of like it always sounds like different music when you hit credits.
Yeah. That distorted synth is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And you would think that since it's like resolved, you know, here's like an actual band in there. Jeez. Oh,
That's cool.
you would think that they wouldn't put so much distortion in there
Yeah.
and bending, but
And we got another voice
I
here.
love it.
Old ones I can't forget. Night steals away my sight.
Colin and Caroline, I think, is the what it says here.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is the classic like credits rolling, and you're seeing like pictures of what you did throughout the game.
Yeah.
Game points,
Kind of pop up, fade in and out.
which was always such a cool way to like give you immediate nostalgia from everything you've just done.
Yeah.
Remember back when you fought that boss, whatever.
Yeah. I feel like the two voices kind of represent our characters here. So we have the male voice, which kind of represents Leon, and the girl voice that kind of represents Grace.
Yeah.
Right? Because like the male voice was kind of talking about fighting through the darkness, and this one's talking more about hope and like and holding on to that hope to get through what we just went through.
Yeah. Where Leon would be more in the character of like, I'm gonna blow you up with my RPG, bro. and she's just like, I'm in over my head. I need a prayer. I need some help here.
Yeah. It's like, I know that there's light on the other side. We just need to be persistent, and we need to keep pushing, we need to keep going.
So poignant.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That was nice.
And it's
ending.
nice that we kind of get those notes that come back that we've heard a couple times, specifically in the main menu theme that we just heard. You know, we have those notes coming back, so we get that sense of familiarity that no matter how scary things get, it almost kind of acts as a subconscious anchor for the player to hold on to. So going through these tracks, we definitely felt that Leon's music asks you to carry the weight, while Grace's music asks you to survive it. How did you interpret it? Did you interpret it differently? Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are, and we're excited to see what you guys have to say.
Also, we wrote our own Resident Evil inspired save room music, and you can listen to that here or there. And if you want to listen to more episodes, also here or there. Cue the score!
Get a score!